Welcome back to Saturday's Ireland AM. We live in a digital age now where screens are a major part of everyday life. But how can we limit the amount of time our little ones spend on them?
Parent coach Aoife Lee is here with her tips for cutting screen time around the festive period. Good morning, Aoife. Great to have you on.
Yes, thank you.
So obviously screen time, huge topic always around like kids and teenagers, but is it more difficult around Christmas? I mean, they're off, everyone's in the house. You probably want a little bit more, I don't know, support by using a screen.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is typically this time of year that there's a lot more downtime, everyone's at home. The reality is both kids, young and old, and the adults are on their devices more than we would be. And that's kind of just, it's a natural part of being at home and relaxing. That being said, it's about being realistic to technology. Devices are a huge part of our lives, but for the kids, they use it as a way, of entertainment, school, but also for our older kids, a way of connecting and maintaining friendships. So depending on the ages and the types of devices can often determine how we manage them on a day-to-day time frame. And that being said, it kind of starts off with managing our own expectations as the adults and being realistic.
So how do we do that?
Firstly, and I mentioned there even about our teenagers, it's important and taken into account being Christmas time. We need to be practical in that they will have more time on them. So it's about picking the battles. And then introducing some sense of a plan of action as we enter into the Christmas holidays, and when we come out the other side in January, what it's going to look like as they return to school. And that's a big part as well. But certainly for our kids, it's looking at putting a plan together first of all, and then kind of going from there.
And what about then? So obviously we want to manage their screen time, but should we adults be thinking about how much time we're spending on our phones? Because I mean, like they see, they do, so do we need to start being strict on ourselves?
Well, it's just being mindful because our kids look at everything we do, they hear everything we say. So it's again being mindful of that. And if you have got a new smartphone coming into the house or a new gaming device, and there's a lot of gaming devices now that are handheld and can go and veer anywhere in the house. Like that, when I kind of go back to picking our battles and being realistic, allow them enjoy whatever they get. Give them time to kind of explore it, set it up. The first couple of days, they might kind of spend a lot of time on it. After that, then take a step back and think of what are we doing here, and look at the days. And it's like bookending, having the time in the morning versus having time in the evenings, and making sure that there is time to get outside, that they are kind of meeting their friends, and obviously there will be visiting and other kind of activities over the holidays. So it's all in moderation as well. But what's key is to have the kids part of the conversation as to what we're doing here, because if they feel like we're constantly telling them what to do, you're going to face resistance. So it's giving them an opportunity to kind of have their bit of a say as well, and looking at where, again, the devices are at home, both during the day and at night time as well.
Oh, no, I'm glad you said that. At night time.
Yeah.
Because they shouldn't be in bedrooms.
They
shouldn't be in our bedrooms.
I know, I know. And it's very easy to get caught up on, I need it for my alarm. We're very quick.
Buy an alarm clock.
Yeah, I need the alarm clock, or just in case it's an emergency, what if someone's trying to call us? But regarding kind of sleep spaces, and for any of us, what kind of impacts sleep is that artificial blue light that interferes with that natural sleep hormone, melatonin, that production. It tricks the brain into thinking, I'm not sleepy at all. And if we've got young kids where devices are used just before bedtime, that's where it can impact them settling to sleep. Same as our teenagers. Again, it's just about trying to negotiate and come to an agreement together that gaming devices and laptops, tablets, phones, try and get them out of the bedroom at bedtime. Not necessarily, because they're going to have their independent space and they'll want that bit of time away, but particularly at bedtime, try and get them out of the bedroom. It's each to their own, but it is important.
How long before they go to bed should the screens be put away if it does have an impact on their sleep?
Oh, I mean, I would say, a good hour or so for sure. And the reality is, again, particularly when our kids get older, they're independent. And going back to the teenagers, they want to be gaming online with their friends. But if you have got a child that is just got their gaming device and they start to connect with their friends, just be sure that they're only connecting with people that they know and avoiding that if you can.
Like the thing you're talking about there is compromise.
Yeah.
When it comes to sitting down with our kids to say, look, here's how it's going to be. Kids want Christmas as well, and they want to be part of a family Christmas. So if you approach it in the right way, you'll discover that they want to sit down on Christmas Day, have dinner without devices, and then do family stuff.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for one day.
Yeah, it's just to try and, tick all the boxes. But obviously, if you're seeing that your child's really struggling coming off a device, that is often a sign of that they just can't cope and they're just it's too much for them.
Yeah.
So it's trying to manage that in shorter time spurts as well.
Yeah. So how does too much screen time, how does that affect young people?
Well, it can really affect behaviour, and it's something to be really mindful of. Again, going back to our preteens and teenagers, they're starting to. They can sometimes feel isolated. They're sharing all of their lives online, and they start to lose the important skill of empathy, or they're not getting a chance to read body language and tone and how that can be impacted. One thing I brought today, and it's primarily kind of used in schools. It's called the phone away box.
There are kids watching us right now getting chills.
Yeah, they're kind of a bit scared. I had this home and my daughter went, "What's that?" I says, "We're going to lock your phones away now in future when there's any messing." And no, but this is actually primarily used in secondary schools around the country. And it's a great way, I suppose, to support the policies that are in the schools around smartphones being used, because they're hard to manage. And it's a great way for teenagers just to take responsibility and accountability. And it's got an L key in there as well.
Open the door.
So there you go.
And in it goes.
Nice and
it's
solid.
As simple as that. And there's room for more than one phone in there.
There's a few now maybe for the adults as well. But look, it's what we don't want to do is for the kids to feel like we're on a battle and it's the adults against the kids. It's just trying to be realistic and
Is the way to make that work to put your own phone in it first?
Yes. I tell you what we have started doing, we just shared it before the segment, myself and my husband are now charging our phones downstairs at night time. We've set a downtime on our phones at 10 o'clock, the phone switch off, because you're also wired. So if the kids actually see us doing that too, they will be like, okay, it's not just about mum and dad's word or the adult's word. It's actions speak louder than words, essentially,
Yeah. God.
I know.
Could you leave your phone downstairs?
Yeah, I could, yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh, happily, yeah. I actually have an alarm clock in the room. It's
a traditional alarm clock.
A traditional alarm
kids have
clock.
that
Just
now.
buy one. It works. Get a good battery, put it in, and it will work.
Yeah.
And it will wake you up. And it has a snooze button.
Yeah.
You can still get another 9 minutes if you want. And your phone will still be waiting on you when you go downstairs. Look, it works. I know a house where every time they're having a family dinner, there's a basket at the front door and the mother stands at the door and takes everybody's phone off them.
Yeah.
And puts it away, and then we're going in for dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they get the...
They get them back.
And these are adults, by the way.
Yeah.
These are adults,
And there's another one that you have to put your phone face down. The first person to turn it around has to buy the dinner or something.
That's all right. That's good too. I like that. Good to see you, Aoife. And Merry Christmas.
Yes, and you too.
All right.
Thanks so much.